what's up? Justin here from the Forge Project. I just wanted to give a quick shout out to my boys Butter and Joshua of Beyond the Apex. I just got my gear in the mail today and the fitting quality is on point. So check out their Instagram, check out their YouTube channel, Beyond the Apex, where they discuss everything motorcycles and then some live every Tuesday evening. So like them, subscribe to them, share the love, and all that good shit. Peace.
Hey, what's going on, guys? It's Mike's Pro Lives. Hey, man, I'm having a pretty cool moment right now, man. Man, I haven't had this in a while, man. Guess what? I'm getting chauffeured. I'm getting chauffeured, man, by all my young men.
Yo, what's up, everybody? I'm gymkhanajosh, and welcome to Beyond the Apex, where we talk motorcycle, everything, and then some. If you haven't already, subscribe to the channel. Look down below. There's a big subscribe button. Hit that. We'd greatly appreciate it. Plus, we're always doing this every week, bringing you that motorcycle entertainment. You won't regret it. It's free as well, so just do it. Thanks to all the people this week that got onto the beyondtheapexstore.com website, ordered their hats, ordered their t-shirts, ordered their vinyl stickers. We appreciate the love. It's crazy, the outpouring of love, the amount of messages we've been getting, the amount of love we've been getting on the site. So thank you to everybody that joined us through that actually helped us out with that. Yeah, there's really just been a whole lot going on. I thought this past week we were gonna have just a long streak of great weather, but unfortunately New York City was teasing us because I saw some snow flurries earlier today. That's some BS right there. But anyways, let's get on with the show. Without further ado, if you look over to my left-hand side, to your right-hand side, you'll see my co-host, Butter. And Butter, what's up with you, brother?
What's good, everybody? What's going on?
Yo.
So, yeah, so we got a great show tonight. Got a special guest co-host tonight. I'm taking the night off. I'm just going to do all the intros as always. And I'm taking the rest of the night off. I'm going to listen like a customer now.
But he'll take your paycheck, too.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah. I got his address. You want? We can forward his information to you. So, yeah, we got a great show tonight, man. Shout out to everybody checking in. Black City Riders, my Hustle King family. You already know BNN News. My man Bills, and I just want to do a quick. I want to dedicate this show to a really, really good brother of mine, and Mike. It was great that Mike jumped in. Kind of blew it up already. Who's the guest, but. My brother Dave from FLNY, his VP, man, is really down and out. Got the COVID, really dealing with some breathing issues. So, Eli, we wish you a speedy recovery, my brother. You'll be back on the go. You know what I'm saying? So, hopefully, we'll see you on the 17th, up and ready to go. And we're going to dedicate the show to him tonight. Also, Set Magazine Latino, Allure, her children just lost their father due to COVID. It's pretty tragic. She's, her and the kids are in a pretty bad state right now. So we just want to send our love from the Hustle King family, Beyond the Apex family, Pro Lids family, everybody. It's a tough time for a lot of people right now. So we just want to wish everybody speedy recovery and condolences to the families that lost loved ones through COVID. Without further ado, I'd like to introduce our guest. He's a very amazing young man. I met him through a club that we've done a lot of charity work through. I'm actually met the club and their pres and vice president. Years back, there was a gentleman who was killed by a four-wheeler. So the father was riding home, 60-something-year-old man was driving home on his bicycle after work, and a bunch of Nimrods on a quad clipped him.
Oh, damn.
And this man died. He died because of that. And a bunch of bikers just got together and felt like we needed to do something. And I met Knuckles and a couple other people from Street Kings, and they were like, "Yo, we got to do something as a community for this gentleman." And we all got together, us Freedom Blocks, Freedom Blocks organized it, and Nails, shout out to Nails, she actually put it together because she knew the family personally, and we all met and we collected some money and we gave this money to this family, kind of apologizing for what the bike community show, because that's not what we do. Even Prospect Power Sports, I remember at the time, cut a check because he was clipped by a Yamaha Banshee, and the Yamaha dealership felt like, our name is on this item that killed this man, and they wanted to show their condolence. So it was a big, it was a sad way to come together. It built a bond that we've we've grown stronger and stronger with Street Kings and other bike people from that night. So we have a really great guest tonight. He's part of the Street Kings MC, but he's also the one and only rapper of New York City. When I say rapper, not a Biggie Smalls, not a Tupac. He's a different type of rapper. He's a rapper that brings shit to life. I've seen this guy turn some shitty ass projects into some amazing bike bills and looking fly. So I want to introduce my boy Fonz of Rap NYC. Yo, welcome to the show, Fonz. It's great to have you. Finally, we got this going.
Yeah, it's been a long time coming for real.
Yeah. But without further ado, I want to bring in our special co-host and guest co-host for the night.
Surprise,
Mike
surprise.
of Mike Prolid.
Bam!
Man,
Bam!
the myth, the legend, the Cowie King is in the
What's going down, fam? I sure appreciate it, man. I don't mean to crash any parties. Thank you guys for giving me the opportunity. It's always my pleasure, brother.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Definitely not
Indeed.
a stranger
I'm excited.
to the show. We're glad to have you.
I'm excited, man. Good stuff.
So, Butter, how are we gonna kick this off? We wanna for the people at home, the thing that we were kind of focusing on tonight, as the title would allude to, is we're talking about raps. You know, it's something that people have been. For me, actually, it was weird. We kind of talked about it before the show a little bit. People tend to not want to touch rap jobs for motorcycles, and I've always wondered why that's the case. And hopefully we can kind of get to the bottom of that and get some more information out about that. But like I was gonna say, what did you want to do to kick things off? Did you have something you wanted to ask first?
So I know Mike thought it was a very interesting topic, and that's why he jumped on. So we're gonna lead the show with the legend himself, Mike Prolidge. He's on.
Hey, man, again, it's a pleasure, guys. Hey, Fonz, congratulations, man. I'm so excited for you, man, and your business over there. And I heard you got the rap gang in a headlock over on the East Coast, my brother. Good stuff, man.
Yeah, thank you. I wouldn't say I got it on lock. You know, I'm learning every day something new.
Okay.
You know, the bike community has blessed me with the ability to do what I do because you know, despite how big it may seem, it's a small community, and one bad job would oversight all the amazing work I've ever done. So, you know, it's a constant struggle, but above all, you know, customer service is A1 over here.
Good deal, man. You're absolutely right, man. I mean, you know, a lot of times folks talk about the bike community, and you and I kind of alluded to this prior to us going live. You know, as big as it is, it's still small at the same time because everybody is connected in some shape, form, or fashion to one another. So customer service has to be something that's a mantra in any business going forward. If you want to sit back, man, and build those relationships that last and have a solid rap in the bike community. So that being said, I got a ton of questions to ask you, my brother. So I might be all over the place, man. But I think where I'm going to go first, how long has your business been open? How long have you been doing this?
All right, so I have been doing this out of my house and when I first started, actually I was in college when I first got exposed to the whole rap vinyl decals, and I was working for another shop doing silk screening, and this guy I'll show him out. His name is Gerald. He taught me everything I know. He's out in Queens. He's his shop is called Got Graphics. He deals with decals and like silk screening, stuff like that, and one day we had a commercial installing, and he took me with him, and we just did graphics on a truck. Nothing fancy, big box truck, flat. And from there, I was just intrigued. I was just like, this is so cool. And little by little, over the time of, you know, going to college, being, you know, refining those skills with graphic design and being able to add something to the craft, I felt was going to be the best choice I could make with, like, you know, figuring out what I wanted to do in my life. And you know, I started off with small little parts off of interior, off of my car, off of my bikes, and then little by little, people will ask me, "Can you do this small part?" And I'm like, "Yeah, give it to me." And little parts became a whole box set from China. And I'll have wifey looking at me like, "Yo, what are all these boxes?" I'm like, "Those are 4 bikes," and she'll be like, "What? 4 bikes?" I'm like, "Yeah, just the bearings." But this is how, you know, it started off. And, you know, the people that took the chance with me to begin with was like, you know, was like, "Yo, bro, I know you don't know, but let's do it." And
man, I love
blessing,
that story.
you know.
It's a blessing, yes.
Right. It was a blessing for those people who first gave me the shot at, not only just taking their plastics, but as well as that first person who gave me their bike and was like, yo, I can't take this off, bro. Can you do it for me? And I'm like, I'm going to tell you right now, I'm not a mechanic, but I can take plastics off and put them on and assure you that they're not going to fly off on the highway.
Yeah.
You know what it sounds like to me, Fonz? It sounds like to me, man, you identified an issue and a problem, and you created an opportunity and a solution. And I love those entrepreneurial juices, man. And I love the backdrop. And I also like the fact that you didn't mind sitting back and paying a little homage to the cat that kind of segued you into it, man. Because honestly, man, sometimes relationships go a lot of different directions, but you can never sit back and fail to acknowledge the folks that put you on a path that otherwise you might not have been on. And so I respect the hell out of that cat, Daddy, for real, straight up. So, man, I got some more questions if you answered that. I'm sorry.
Wait, so
I'm gonna be shotgunning you, baby, because I got a lot of questions.
Shop is in New Rochelle. We opened up last summer in July, and we're making our way towards a year, and it's been a wild 8 months, but it's dope having a place to go home, rather than having customers pull up to my house at night or in the morning or picking up parts, and they're just those customers that did that solid for me too and traveled all the way to my house to just drop off parts. I felt like, yo, this person is entrusting me with something that they spent their hard-earned money on, and like at my house, I was still treating it like a professional business, and in which I was telling people, I was like, look, pick up hours are Monday to Friday from 4 to 7, because I was also working a full-time job. My son is 2 years old, so I had an infant, walking into this situation, and the sacrifice and the level of commitment that it took to get to where I'm at today, some people won't ever understand.
Yo, you mentioned one thing too about not being a mechanic. I'm kind of on the opposite end of the spectrum from you. I'll turn a wrench any day on a bike or on a car, but when it comes to wraps, oh my gosh, man! Like, I've tried to do even just simple stuff like headlights before. I am terrible. The whole like stretching and then with the heat gun and the squeegee at the same time. There is definitely, for anybody out there that hasn't actually tried to do like any sort of wrap before, it is an art. It is literally.
Hey, I'm gonna take you back old school, older than that, Josh. Like back in the '80s, cat. I called myself trying to do like tent jobs and shit.
It's like yeah. But you get all the bubbles in it.
It's on the same level of technique and finesse.
Yeah.
And I'll tell you right now, like I can't do tents.
I messed up a lot of film,
Right. Wait. I got a tent story. So my brother Trigger thought he could tent in the middle of the night. We fucked up drinking. I had a brand new. I had an S10, Chevy S10. And we over here tinting, right? So I'm thinking, yo, my car look dope. I got tint everywhere. And when I got up and we looked at the window, they had to be like 100 flies in between the
what?
There was a little tiny flies.
I got another question, Fonz. Before we go further, hey, shout out your Instagram again real quick, homie.
Oh, Rap Guys New York City, NYC. Rap WRAP Guys GUYS NYC.
Yeah.
Good deal, man. So my next question, bro, if you don't mind. Hey, how you doing, young man?
Little Fonz.
So a lot of customers or potential customers will ask this question of you in person, but I'm going to go ahead and do it now. What can a customer expect to pay for a wrap job? You know what I mean? And I know there's a lot of variables, and I don't want to back you into a corner with that question, but on average, you got a cat that comes up there, man, he's got a Gixxer, he's got a Road King or whatever, he wants a tank in the bags, fender or whatever. What can be the expected cost associated with a wrap as well as turnaround time?
So we have two different categories. You have your cruisers and then you have your sport bikes.
Okay.
Cruisers, as we know, that's a 3-hour job to strip it down and get underneath the tank. And it honestly depends on the customer, because when I'll walk you through what you pull up with your bike, Mike, and you say, Fonzo, I want these 3 colors. And I look at you and I'm like, all right, cool. Now, are you doing this wrap for something longevity wise? Are you trying to save the paint to sell it later down the line? Are you just really bored and you want something to pop? What exactly are your needs? Because this kind of changes a little thing. Because now for the customer that wants like fly something crazy, he's gonna go for like a satin finish or like a chrome crazy finish. And for the customers that really just want to protect their paint and the look of their bike, they'll either go for paint protect film, which is a clear wrap, or they'll go for like a matte film or the standard glossy. And wraps come in different grades and thicknesses. So when we're talking about a chrome finish, I'm gonna tell you right now, I'm like, look, this wrap will last you X amount of years, but you gotta understand, this is chrome. This will scratch. You lean on the tank. You get one bag. You ride behind one person with a bigger tire, like a bully. You're getting a rock chip straight to your bike. And specifically on the cruisers, you'll end up with on the side of the tanks or the front fairings.
You got to do something special to wash them too, right? Like you can't just wash them with regular like soap and scrub pad or whatever.
Right. So I get into wrap care a little bit later, but for the most part, like I want to say my average customer spends between $1,500 to $2,500. So like for example, if you bring me a brand new R1, they like the way to take those apart is much more labor intensive than me taking a shovel head apart. It's just much more labor. But I also have customers that buy brand new plastics and they send it to me straight in the box, so no one touches them but me. And that customer doesn't pay as much as the customer who brings in a bike, because I have to uninstall and reinstall those fairings. So there's a little bit of a consideration towards time. Before when I started, I didn't really take that into account. So a project that I will crank out in 3 days, now I spread out over a week, because it's no point in rushing the job.
I'm gonna tell you something, Kat. I hear a whole lot of pros and very few cons are coming to my mind based off of what you're giving me, Fonz. Like, let's rap about it for real, Kat.
But there's also the variable of, let's say, a customer who took their bike apart previously, and then you have a ton of strip bolts. So now what do I do in that situation? I have to call the customer up and say, hey, look, I'm gonna tell you right now, this is not safe.
Hey, but dig this.
I'll give you your money back on the wrap. Your bike is not safe. I will not touch it.
Dig this, Fonz. I'm finna plug you real hard, homie. You might want to let me have this one right quick, because watch what I'm gonna tell you. For all y'all out there that are listening to this, that are watching it now, watching it live, hey, thank you guys first and foremost, man, for taking the time out of your evening, man. Please continue to support this channel, man. I'm gonna tell you something, man. I truly sit back and have a real affinity for these two men. I know what goes into this, man. It's not an easy thing. I know that Josh and Butter both spend a lot of time contacting folks, have folks sometimes, man, that say one thing, do another. So while I'm rapping, guys, man, support this channel, like it, share it, subscribe, and tell another motherfucker, man, because honestly, you want it to be here. So that being said, man, check this out. You just told me, man, the average customer, Cat, $1,500, $2,500, depending on a lot of variables. Man, dig this, guy. You and I both know, all three of us know, the average bike paint job for a cat these days now, man, just won't touch your bike for anything less than 7 racks. Like, they won't even touch it. And
real
then,
paint job.
Real paint job. Won't even touch it, man, unless you give them 7. And they all say the same shit. Oh, man, shit, I have back to you probably next month. He got your bike. So, you know, I'm going to tell you, you guys interviewed my brother, Tommy Bolton, my uncle, Great interview, by the way. I love Tommy. I respect, and I give him the moniker of my uncle, and I don't do that for everybody. So that tells you about the relationship. That being said, I'm gonna talk even some noise on my brother. Tommy even does that, man, because can't sit back, man, and say, hey, man, I got you faded, man. Bring the bike on by, or whatever, before you know it, your bike sitting over stranded on death row on that goddamn wall back there with all them.
You know what? He said that. He said that.
Yeah, and you know, Tommy, he's better than most. That's my brother. But I mean, what I'm saying is, you offering this new phenomenon, if you will, Fonz, people really need to look at it in a real. for so many reasons, because I think the opportunities and the options are limitless. You're only really backed into a corner based off of your creativity, I'm assuming. But man, you
Right.
sit back and say, hey, Mike, man, you want that bike by Daytona? I got this new funky wrap, man. Slide me to 25 and you'll have it by Thursday. Shit, that's
Yeah,
dope.
for real.
That's dope,
Yeah.
man.
But you know, like I said, other times, you know, I'll talk a customer out of a wrap if I believe that his bike needs work on a more important scale, like saying, "Yo, bro, you don't got
Nice.
tires. What are you doing with a wrap?" Like, I'm sorry, like I don't like. See, the
I
thing is
love
that
it.
like, yo, like I'm big on safety. I lost a couple of homies not checking their bikes before they got on them things, and like, you
Yeah.
know, we know any of people that didn't take the time to put them on like an OG and be like, yo, my guy, what are you doing? Like, why are you spending this amount of money on a fancy helmet if your bike not right? You know what I'm saying?
Right.
So, you know, with the wrap, is a lot of things come into
You're right.
play. You don't ever want to take a bike that's not in the condition to be shown off the way it deserves to be, especially if the customer for cosmetics more than, like, you know, actual things you need. And
That's
you know,
amazing that you put clients above profit, man. That says a lot about you.
you know what, I'm like I said, you know, I lost too many homies in the
Yeah.
game, and you know, on a personal basis, if you come to my, you'll be treated the same way. You'll be treated
That's
like as
good.
if you're my brother, because
That's
you
excellent,
know,
man.
last thing I want to do is wrap a bike, have a beautiful product, and then I get a call later on the week like, yo, what's up, his wheel flew off, and I'm like, what?
Wow.
No.
Man.
Yeah.
You know, it's so
Or-
funny you say that, man. Me and Bud was talking a couple, 2-3 days ago. And he might even not even remember this, but we were talking about tire pressure. Do you remember that, cat? We was talking about
You
tire
got
pressure.
you got motherfuckers in New York riding with 39 pounds of pressure in this ice cold weather.
Yeah.
You out of your fucking mind. If you have not checked your tire pressure in the last few days and you out there riding and you above 34, you a dumbass. I'm gonna call you out. You a fucking dumbass. Your
Yeah.
tire pressure in the rear should be 34, 32 in the front, because the harder the tire is and the colder the street, that shit
the
gonna
less
glide like a hockey
contact.
puck on an ice skating rink, brother.
Yep.
Yeah.
We had a brother of ours fall prey to some probably some tire pressure, some tire temperature. Uh,
Oh, you mean our
yeah.
producer?
The
You mean our
production
producer?
guy, production guy.
You mean
Not me, not me. But
Shout out to
Yeah.
Justin, man. He had a little spill at the army base.
yo, he
So
messed himself up
he
for real. Like
he went left, supposed to go right, took a spill, but
yeah,
I'm
his
pretty
foot went
sure
left and it was supposed to go right too. He messed himself up good. So sorry, Justin. We had to call you out, man. If you're watching at home, sorry.
It's but yeah, you know that, and you know, one of the bigger challenges that I've noticed is that customers will bring you trash and expect you to make that trash into Cinderella, and they don't want to go and put the effort in to do the extra things you ask them to do, such as, yo, brother, you should go take these, you should put new calipers on, or you should put new rotors on, or you should get new grips. And these little things, you know, they make the product, the final product. So, and you know, it's sometimes never about the wrap. It's more about the smaller details. Like, did the installer catch this corner? Did the installer leave you with seams versus a flat look to make it look like paint? And you know, for my price point, you know, nobody's beating me. And my price point is my price point because I get to say no to certain things now, you know, and it's never about the money, ever. It's you know, it's about me feeling comfortable with my time versus figuring out how can I get the best product out there with, while having a competitive price point. Because, you know, like I said, no, like, and we can get into it now, but you know, hey Bubs, everybody say hi to Bubs.
What's up, young man?
But everybody always asks me like, yo, why is it I went to this shop that does wraps and they didn't want to touch my bike? And it's a huge liability. It's an extremely huge liability. And then the level of difficulty to wrap these bikes with the film that I use, I get it from even like my contacts at Avery and 3M and my dealers, and they'll be like, bro, what you do with this film should not be done. How are you not getting blowback or somebody calling you back in a week or two saying, yo, it's peeling or bubbling, and I'll walk you through it as a customer, and I'll be like, look, you got where some return is expected on some of these wraps, because the stretch on, like, for example, a tank that's completely almost a full circle like a boulevard is insane to wrap that. I need 4 hands and I only have 2. So imagine how I make that happen with my mouth, my arm, my leg holding the table down.
Yeah, yeah,
So
yeah, yeah.
it's level of difficulty takes into play. And for most of my customers, it's not about that one time cash out that I get from you. It's about you coming back to me every month or so and be like, yo, bro, can you wipe my baby down? Like, I don't want to
That's
wash
dope.
it. Can you check my edges? And I'm like, yeah, you good. And if you make a purchase from us at Rap Guys New York City, you're not just making a purchase and then goodbye. You get that follow up 6 months later down the line, and you say, hey, bro, what's up? Because what people don't understand is that the major difference between an auto wrap and a motorcycle wrap is level of difficulty on these angles and curves, but as well as people don't take into consideration the amount of heat the wrap is exposed to so close to the engine.
Good point.
Like,
Good point.
a
Really good
motorcycle
point.
operating temperature is somewhere around between 200 degrees to 250.
Mm-hmm.
A
Good
wrap's
point.
tolerance where it mends is about at 325. So you're only about 100 degrees short of where that material can go up to without it being harmed. And when I do these things, I don't give a disclaimer. I just suck it up and I say, yo, we'll do it again. Don't worry about it. We're going to have you beautiful. Like, but this is expected. So the only thing that I tell a customer is I'll be like, I'm sorry, I might have to inconvenience you by you coming back, but you always taken care of.
That's
there's
good.
no leaving you high and dry.
That's just good business.
And
That's dope, man.
I've only had a couple of handful situations where I had terrible blowback, but like when you wrap, the time of year is a huge effect on a wrap too. In the winter time, a wrap is brittle, it's hard, and it's extremely hard to keep a bike warm for two days, 42 hours straight for a wrap to bond and cure. Like a wrap, think about plastic, like a plastic bag. When you stretch that bad boy out, it's gonna get hazy. But when you apply a little bit of heat or warmth to it, it comes back to its normal state of being. And imagine sitting 42 hours in the garage where, I have to have the heat constantly blowing on it. So that way it doesn't come out of spec for that little bit. Because, unlike people down south where they have favorable temperature all year round, you're not worrying about the wrap being hit by below 20 degrees,
Right.
So
Doesn't have the elements the same way as you do over on your side of the woods, man. But man, it's amazing
So,
what you're doing.
but
I'm sorry, I didn't mean to interrupt. I apologize.
the trick now is the constant cooling and heating. So it's 15 degrees outside and you start your bike up, you get that bad boy warm. Once you get outside, that wrap now is going through extreme thermal changes.
Retracts, right?
Where it's getting hot and cold, hot and cold, hot and cold. And that plays a big part in it. Like, I had a customer one time leave with their bike and it was perfect. It sat in my bike for it sat in my garage for a week. It looked beautiful. And a week later they had blowback and I was looking at it and I was like, wow, that's crazy. And it was so crazy to me. I had to send a sample back to my dealer and be like, yo, bro, can you check this material out for me and see if it's good? Because I'm getting a result that I've never gotten. And I, like, the dealer, long story short, sent me a brand new roll. And then they were like, yo, you know what's crazy? We think that the material sat in too cold for too long on that truck when it was being shipped out to you. And by the time you got it, the adhesive already melted and then rebonded.
So let me ask you: have you had any kickback, if you will, or pushback as far as folks that just are anti-rap, or or it hasn't caught on yet, or is it one of those things that people give you the opportunity, they get a chance to peep it, they'll be convinced?
I'll tell you.
You know what? When I first started,
let me tell them a funny story, Fonz. So it's funny you say that because matching paint is very difficult, especially for plastics. A lot of people I know, I deal with a guy, Unique Autos, and he does a lot of paint and matching paint. And this is how I met Fonz. Actually, this is how I think this was your first customer I ever sent you was Gil Muniz, right? I sent you Gil with the CBR. So Gil had powder coated his CBR in an orange, but the orange that sat on the Honda gas tank where it splits the three colors, the Repsol, was different. So he went to Fonz, and Fonz matched it
With a vinyl?
perfectly. Where
Nice.
if you didn't know the original color of the Repsol, how lighter the orange is, where Fonz was able to get orange, went with this. So it's kind of flawless because there is a
I
lot
got
of
lucky on that one.
yeah.
I got lucky.
Nice.
I'm gonna be honest. We
Nice.
all know films come already in preset colors,
Mhm.
and you know, if you want to get something very custom, it has to be a print. And even as a print, it's extremely hard to match those factory paints on motorcycles because you know codes they don't just give them out. Like Yamaha doesn't give out their blue, and you know you have to go the second like, all right, what
Yeah,
color?
I
Did
deal
you
with that.
use?
I
Yeah,
deal with
so
that. You're
you
right.
know it's tough.
You know, Mike, actually, in regards to your question, kind of what I said in the beginning of the show there, at one point in time, I tried to get my CBR wrapped, and every shop that I went to, this was a while ago. I mean, maybe things have changed, you know, in the wrap game since then, but nobody wanted to touch it. They kept telling me like, "No, wrapping your CBR, it's not even worth it. The amount of material we'd have to use and go through, and the mistakes we'd make, and like I don't know. I just it's like they didn't want to take my money to even try it. Maybe they just didn't have the skill level. But why do people push back?
I got a question for all three of you guys, if you don't mind. Uh, where do you guys think bike customization is hitting? I mean, it sometimes, what was old becomes new again sometimes. Some things have cycles, if you will. And I think that, we deal with a lot of hydro dipping in my company. We do a lot of hydro dipping. We've been asked a gazillion times, hey, Mike, will you hydro dip my tank, my fender, my bags? And and the answer typically is always respectfully, I apologize, but I have done it for a few folks that are close to me. And it's an amazing deal to see it done if somebody does it correctly. And I bring that up because I'm looking at what Fonz is doing with these bikes, man, and how just to get that bike back in a time that's reasonable is just that would be almost ideal just for me on the strength of, man, I mean, I take my bike to this cat, he gives me a window. Even if he exceeds the window, it's still probably a fraction of if it was at the paint shop. So that would be very nice. And then you've got this mantra of customer service that would definitely precede your reputation and let me know that I can go to you with confidence. So I love the fact that that's the way that you get down as well. I'm sorry, Butter, go right ahead.
No, so it's funny you mentioned that, right? Because we're seeing where so everybody's different. So in the West Coast, everybody's doing a lot of chrome. A lot of those, cholo looking bike like yours, Mike. You got what is it, a Dyna, right? Get a lot of chrome.
Yeah.
Here in New York on the East Coast, powder coating is the thing. You do hydro dipping, where here they'll do most a wrap. So in New York, you get a lot of cars that are wrapped. There's a lot of companies that do cars. I think cars than bikes. I would let Fonz decide that. But in New York, so you see how you got on your side of town, you got hydro dipping and chroming. On this side of town, we got powder coating and wrapping. So, shout outs to the best powder coater on the East Coast. Plug. Easy powder coating.
Easy.
But it's true. It's like if you take, Mike got clipped.
Mike got dropped.
It's like,
he can come back in.
So it's like, so when you take the bike, so everything is timing. If you take your bike to easy powder coating in the middle of December, you might get a quick turnaround. But if you wait till March when everybody, there he goes. So like I was saying, like if you take your bike to easy powder coating in December, you might get a quicker turnaround time than you would in March when everybody's dropping their bike off at the beginning of the season. Talk about, I got my stimulus check, man.
It's coming.
Hey, that's me. Don't knock it. I can see you showing up to Fonz's shop right now with a bike on the trailer I just got from Copart. Got a salvage title. Hey man, freak that thing out for me, homie. Let me know when I can come
you could bring it in. You could bring it in January because Easy got 90-day interest-free payment, so you could get the work done early, get it paid for, and then pay the shit off with your stimulus check when it comes in. So,
but you know what, man? That being said, I'm all always a fan of what folks do in the bike community, man. And when you bring new ideas, because a lot of times, man, we think there's nothing new under the sun. And that's just not always the case, man. You know, there's been times I've been sitting out in my garage looking at my bike and I'm like, God damn, I wish I had a TIG welder right now. I sure could sit back and make some new crash bars in this bitch. And something hit me. You know what I mean? All I gotta do is take this shit, do that, or whatever, drop it off at Chrome, and man, I done something. So it's folks like that and like yourself, man, that say, you know what, man, I haven't really seen this being done, and I'm gonna go ahead and sit back and take the risk, have the conversation with my family, and we're gonna sit back and present it to the folk. So that's good stuff, man. I think it's pretty damn cool. Yeah. It is.
Going back to your question about like, you know, where the bike community is based off of what I've seen coming out of the shop. You know, we went through a rough year with COVID, and the only outlet that most of us had was our motorcycles. And a lot of people took the time and their hard-earned money to be like, look, I wanna invest in my bike to make it look, whatever the case, prettier or protected, or you know, like when it comes down to the nitty-gritty, I'm bored of it. You know, I want something to match with new gear. I want something to, you know, I want to switch up my theme.
It's been some cats working on some shit, man, during this quarantine. Whenever this is over with, it's gonna be some cats pull some shit out. You're right. I agree with you on that.
I see more of the younger riders changing over the cruisers, and I'm starting to see that shift in my age range where people was like, you know, like this New York City riding with a sport bike really ain't that fun versus, you know, being on a cruiser in the city. And I respect, I understand, but you know, a cat like me, I like having both options. You know, I like getting on the cruiser here and there, or I like getting on my sport bike when I'm on the go. And you know, for me, motorcycling started as a way of commuting. I didn't have a car. I had a motorcycle when I was out. And getting back to your roots of just using your motorcycle as a means of transportation, and now is at the point where people's like putting in the time and effort to make their bike flossy. You know, it's a fashion show now with the bikes. And it's cool, like, you know what I mean, to each their own, and I don't knock it. It gives me the opportunity to go crazy on certain projects, but then you have all the cats that come with their cruiser and be like, yo bro, I want none of that crazy shit. I just want this color, that color, plain, sleek, classy. And I'm like, oh, I dig it, and I love those classic projects, you know. So it definitely comes down to, like, I feel like the shift is happening with as we're getting older. And believe me or not, next year is gonna be a bunch of younger cats on the scene with like the brand new R1s and, you know, the CBRs. So
not the price they selling for now. All 20 racks.
Hey, but you know what, Fonz? I'm a fan of young folks. I've said this a million times. I love what young people bring to the culture, man. I love that they're still finding an interest, if you will, man. And, you know, a lot of times old heads like myself are too critical of what these young folks do, what they want to do, their flavor. And we really need to cut it out, man. I mean, really, shame on us, bro. Because, I mean, some of the shit that we did back in the day, it was some old heads also thought, man, you just destroyed a perfect good bike. You know, and you can't be that way, man. I mean, I remember when the big wheels was first starting coming on. How many cats, man? What the hell did they do to that bike or whatever? Now you got big wheels rolling out the factory. So what's obscure or an oddity becomes the norm, and somebody finds a way to capitalize on it. So again, let these young people rock steady, man. And now, when you did mention something interesting, Butter, about the cost of entry nowadays on a new bike, you mind? I've talked to my homies, and I'd be like, man, I don't even know how young people fix up a car anymore without sitting back and, you know, straddling the fence on what they got to do to make it happen. Because when I was a kid, you could have literally $5,000 in your car, and your shit was pretty goddamn fly. Now you can't buy a set of damn, you know, wheels for that. You know,
that's depending on the car, that's a supercharge.
You know what I'm saying?
but that's what rapping does as well. You know, like we got these cats with older CBRs, or, you know, the older leader bikes, and they're like, oh, this bike is the 90s or early 2000s, and I don't really like how the lines look. And a simple change is dramatically how a bike looks, and the color schemes.
Hey, Fonz, I got Rob from Black City. He is one of my track guys, one of my brothers in arms. He's actually going to reach out to you, want to do some work on his Beamer. So said, If you get a hit from Black City Riders, he get the
Hey,
Hustle King discount. So you charge him double, all right?
now we shout out to Black City. We did already a charity event with them, and the vibes was dope. So shout out to them.
And I got another question from one of our people that are in the chat because we have a chat going on. Fernando Flores, shout outs to him for he said he wants to know what's the craziest random shit you've ever rapped that was like whatever, like whoa.
Um, random, 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 random. I would say if I'm thinking recently, I had a customer who brought me a 96 ZX6R, old school bike, like with the carb and the carb handle and all that. And when I asked him what he wanted to do, and he was like, "Look, I want this bike to be flashy. I want it to pop. And I was like, what do you want? You want like money all over it? What you want it gold? What are you thinking?" And then he's like, "Yo, I don't know, bro. What do you want to do? Like I want a bike that symbolizes power, but as well as the grind." And I was like thinking to myself, and the funny part is that me and my brother Chino, he works at Rap Guys with us, and my brother, this is family run business. Me and him started this business from the start. And one night having a game night, and we were playing Monopoly, and that's when it hit me, and I was like, "Yo, let's wrap this bike in a Monopoly theme," which is the last post on the Rap Guys New York City page. So check that out. And it started off as a like he he was like, "Yo, what should I do?" And I was like, "Yo, first of all, you're gonna go get your rims powder coated." And he was like, "Where should I go?" I was like, "Yo, I got a guy in Staten Island. Shout out to Easy." And and this is the thing, like, about this community is like, yo, Easy gave me a price, and that was my customer's price. And I told Easy, I was like, "Look, I don't want no discounts. This is my customer. I want us to deal business on the up and up. So when I refer you a customer, you deal with them, and I'm not getting nothing off the back. You don't got to worry about me. Believe me, I want this project to look so good. So my interest is making the project work." And it was dope because the rims, we took it to the to Easy, and we picked them up. We got a bunch of little other parts powder coated, and it brought the wrap really beautifully together. And a wrap, which is funny. Hey, Bugs. Um, a rap. It's funny because I started off that rap with an idea, and then as the rap evolved, certain things changed along the way, in which I was like, "Yo, this can be better." And that there's a risk involved in doing that, because sometimes your customer may not like what you just arbitrarily did and didn't ask for permission or think, "Hey, what do you think?" So, I think my survival has been played on the ability that me and my brother sometimes finesse an idea from what the final product looks like to when the drawings were made.
I do that all the time. I'll be like, "Yo, Mike, just do what the fuck you do with the helmet. I ain't gonna give you no
Yeah.
fucking instructions. As long, as
You
long
know
as it
what?
says,
More
as long as
times,
it says this, just do it."
a lot of times I get a customer, and when they'll ask me to start the drawing up, I'll get, and I swear this is exactly the words. "Yo, Fonz, do your thing."
Yeah. That's how it should be.
And
That's how it should be.
send me a proof, and I'll sign off on it. And that literally happens a lot. And I'm like at this point running out of ideas on how to be innovative. Because a customer will tell me, and they'll show me a picture, and they'll be like, "I want that." And I'm like, "Do you really want that? There's a bike out there with that same design, same concept, same everything. Do you really want that?" And they'll be like, "Nah, actually, I like the idea." Because I like the idea, but you're right. Let's change it up. And I'm like, "Yes, let's let's carve a different path."
I think for the people that bring stuff to you though, they should know, or at least maybe you could even like let them know from the get go. There's a certain level of artistic freedom that you got to have as a vinyl rapper too. You don't go to a tattoo artist. Well, I guess you could, but I kind of look at it the same way as a tattoo artist. If there's some reputable tattoo artist in your area and you go to them for their design, you're not gonna bring them a stencil and be like, "Hey, trace this on me." You can get anybody to do that. You can get the dude down the block to like trace something on your back, but when you go to a vinyl, artist, rapper, or a tattoo artist, you kind of expect them to put their own flavor on it and make it unique. So people should understand that. So for anybody at home that wants to get their bike wrap, let Fonz do his thing.
That's what's up.
I actually did a jet ski for the first time too, not too long ago. Pictures coming up soon. But the rap game is evolving into harder things that most shops that do auto raps won't do, and it's because there's a certain level of technique, and then it's just never been done. So there's no manual or formal training you can do to like get excellent results every time.
Have you ever heard
So I
about
got
those rap conventions they have? Like,
Yeah, I've been to a couple of those. I've
okay,
been to a couple of those. Yo, like there's always sweet technology.
yeah,
You meet new contacts in the industry, and I'm sorry to say this about the rap industry, but especially in New York, they're selfish.
mm,
They're so selfish. Like I when I first started, there was this one company that was doing it all in New York, and I felt like I had to reach out and be like, hey, what's up? I got my own shop. I do motorcycles only. I'm no threat to your business, but I would like us to chop it up and maybe I can learn something from you. Maybe you could.
yeah. They don't
And
want to
I
share.
got
They don't
left
want to
on
share
red.
that.
I got left on red.
Yeah.
And the worst part was like I hated that because that happened so frequently after I met other people in the New York industry at these shows. And I made it a point for me at least that whenever someone will reach out and they're starting their business, I try to build that bridge and be like, yo, if you want to learn something, bro, come through. I got you. And shout out to this younger guy who's starting his own business. It's called Ill Visions. He does motorcycle raps as well. He consults me on ideas as well and techniques and whatnot. And he'll tell you too, like, yo, whenever he has a question on like how to do something, I'll be like, yo, bro, this is how you should. This is how I would do it. And I bestow my knowledge on someone else because at the end of the day, knowledge you shouldn't be charging people or you shouldn't be stingy.
No.
Like because that's the only way you make competition. In my book, if I had a competitor in town that was doing motorcycle raps, I guarantee you it will send my business 1,000 times more. It will get my drive going because that's the kind of guy I
Raps
am.
or
It
anything.
would. It would.
Competition is gonna breed progress. It's gonna force somebody to try and get better. So competition is
Right.
never a negative for sure.
Never. And to be honest, like there are projects I say no to, not because I don't want to, but because their timeline doesn't match up with mine. And I would love to refer somebody to all this extra work that's spilling out of my shop, because at the end of the day, I want rats on motorcycles to become a norm, and the paint
well,
guys gonna
well,
eat, but
but Fonz, let's get into something a little deeper that most people don't know. So I recently got a helmet which has three colors on it, and one of the colors I don't want. And Fonz, which I got to bring the helmet to him, is able to do the color, not remove it, but vinyl around the color that I don't want, so that
yeah,
the three colors I do want can blend in. So that's kind of dope. A lot of people don't know that. Like uh, the Superman helmet, that's the helmet I have. It's a Superman
mhm.
helmet, blue, red, and gold. And obviously, everybody knows that the Hustle King colors are gold, black, and red. He's going to.
So this is the perfect example of an helmet. So you see the things on top of my helmet. They're originally in red. So all the gold on this helmet is mine that I've installed. Add a little bit more flavor to it, um, on the chin, and you can do simple things. You don't have to go for a full wrap off rip. It's a lot of times less is more. Like I have this one customer who consulted me on their Boulevard, and they love the specific look of their bike because it's a special edition color. And he was like, "Yo, bro, I don't know how I feel about this. I like it, but I want something different." And I'm like, "Yo, bro, how about we just delete all the chrome? You don't even need the wrap. Just delete the chrome, and you'll see how much more aggressive the bike will look." And then he was like, "Really? How about we do the tank in black?" And I was like, "Whatever you want, Papa, we'll make it happen." It's not my job to sell you a wrap. It's my job to give you the best advice towards a wrap.
Right.
And if I believe that
That's
something
nice.
should come before the wrap, I'm gonna tell you. I'm gonna tell you. And
I, I,
like,
I want to
it's
tell them about what we saw the day we went to your shop. So I saw a bike, and this is pretty cool. Mike, you might be interested in this. So the
Okay.
bike that he had in his shop had tank damage on it, and Fonz wrapped it to where you didn't even know the bike had a dent in the fucking gas tank. So he
Was
saved.
that filler? Was that filler, or
I
how
don't
did
know
you
what
do
he
that?
did, but
I'm not. Look, you don't have to tell your trade secrets. I promise you.
So certain wraps, like for example, like in this situation, it was a camo film that the customer wanted, and the camo's so busy that I positioned the camo in a place where you wouldn't see that to the eye level of that curve. The dent was still there, but to the naked eye, you won't see it until you start touching it.
It wasn't the
That's
first thing
beauty
that you
about
drew into.
Yeah, so
Yeah.
the bike, obviously I gave him the option. I was like, I could bondo it and sand it, and we did to a certain degree do a little bit of bondo and sanding, only to give it a level surface around that crescent of that dent, so that way it wouldn't be as harsh, or the film wouldn't fail, because if you have any kind of debris or bubbles or cracks, that with heat will expand and pop the wrap or cause a bubble, so. And some prep work is necessary. Even from like severe cases, you still prep work needs to be done.
Very nice, man.
That's magic.
Very nice.
That sounds like magic for real.
Hey, I got a question. I don't mean to get us off topic, and I was really kind of struggling on whether or not I was going to do this, but sometimes I like having fun at other people's expense in good humor. Hey, my brother Josh, man, can you stand up and let them see your shirt, homie? What you got going on there?
Yes. Show them the shirt. Show them the shirt.
Yeah.
That's what's up.
That's my girl right there. That's my girl. Actually, she's been in the
Now,
chat
let me
tonight.
ask you, Dad.
Yo, she's in the chat tonight, showing her love.
Hey, what's her name again?
Chachi.
What's her name again? Chachi. Hey, pleasure. Much respect, man. You got an excellent cat in your life, and I'm sure that he didn't bat an eye when you told him, "Hey, put that shirt on." That's what's up.
Unpaid advertising, Chachi. Unpaid solicitation advertising. He did this on his own free will. We did not act.
Now here's the question, though. Here's the question, y'all. Does she have a shirt with him on it?
She does. She's got a hoodie too.
Man, y'all dope. Y'all too dope.
That's love right there.
I would puke if I saw them in public.
Hey, Fonz, I got another question. You wrap his bike with her on it?
Yeah, absolutely.
We won't go there. I won't ask for all that. That's okay. It's okay.
Hey, at that point, he ain't got to never worry about the kickstands being down. Trust me, she's on the bike. That's good stuff.
Lord have mercy.
Custom mic trolling coming soon.
That's dope, man. I love
Thanks,
it, man.
Mike. Appreciate you.
No,
let me send Mike a picture so he could customize Josh a lid.
All kidding aside, that's a strong thing, man, and I truly respect it. Your style.
Hey, she's in the chat every week, showing love, supporting the channel. She's got the Beyond the Apex cap and the shirt. She's something special.
The cap
for sure.
live. Thank you, my brother.
Yeah.
I'm digging it. I got it on.
Hey, shout out, baby.
But hey,
thank you.
Fonz, that might be too, man. You might want to look into a custom do your chick's wraps face on the bike or something like that. That'd be better. There's a market for it.
I'll even warranty it.
That's it.
Get a rock chip to her face. No more. We'll cover it.
We'll cover it up.
Have you done any memorial wraps? Have you done any wraps with like memorials on it?
Not yet. The thing about printing, wrapping a person is that the film gets stretched. So out of respect to the image of that person, you don't want them to look distorted. So a lot of times, when it comes down to things like that, like doing an image or anything like that on a helmet, because a lot of people do helmet memorial pieces, either a decal or a picture or something like that. I'll tell them, hey, it needs, like, for the best results, you need a flat surface to apply this on, only just so we don't distort this person.
Gotcha.
Okay.
Nice.
Hey, I got a question. You guys mentioned early, and again, I'm kind of go off path here. So I mean, again, forgive me, and hopefully you guys just. But earlier, you guys mentioned something, and about charity stuff that you guys had done a little while ago. And man, I feel like I owe a brother over in your neck of the woods a solid. Sometimes we get extremely busy. And that's not an excuse. Sometimes, man, we need to pick up the phone. I see you look puzzled. Where am I going with this? But you guys got a gentleman over there, man, from Black City by the name of Shake. Solid cat.
One of the best dudes. Mike, I can't tell you. You know how me and you rap often?
Yeah.
Me and Shape rap 2-3
Well,
times a week.
man, he's my type of cool, and man, you introduced me to him, and we were working on an event that got affected by COVID, and
Yes.
it got really off put because of COVID, and despite our best efforts, we weren't able to sit back and manipulate it through, and we was trying hard. But man, your man Shape was down like four flats. So this is what I'm going to say to you, Fonz. I don't know if you guys got anything coming up on the books anytime with Black City, but if you do, and if it's a Black City event, I would like to sit back, man, and donate one of your wraps to somebody's bike through a Hustle Kings Black City event. So y'all figure out the details, man. However y'all want to raffle it off or something like that, man. It would be my honor.
So let me give you a little bit more about Shape and how this man has not only been there for me and multiple people.
Okay.
When COVID-19 hit, and Mike, this is something lucky you brought it up because this is something I would like to do for him to recognize him as a purveyor in New York City. When
Okay.
COVID-19 hit, he lost his job, and he was a little fucked up. A lot of people got fucked up,
Yeah.
but he found a niche and he found something that he loved to do. I had the heart attack shortly after. Shape called me and says, "Yo, my man, you need to fall back and let us handle this shit."
Yeah.
Shape has, and along with Black City Riders, not only continued the EMS drive that we started, he went beyond and further and he started feeding the city in a program where he was actually bringing food to people who couldn't even come out. Now, mind you, he's been out of work since this COVID shit. But
Yeah.
his generosity, and his heart has not stopped. And I
And
told
you know what? Your city is blessed to have men such as him and yourself because I know what you guys do, man. I know, one of the things that I've always been impressed with, man, with the bike community is how the networking is so heartfelt. I mean, in
Yeah.
business, there's networking for the sake of networking, and the agenda is pretty defined and clear and apparent. But typically, man, in the bike community, what separates it is you have guys that are networking to do good. There's no agenda. It's not for
Yeah.
personal gain sometimes. Hey, you guys need this over there. My man does that. He'd be happy to sit back and participate. You guys are short on that over there. Hey, my homeboy around the corner, man, that's him all day long. And that's the thing that's always amazing about this, man. And so, man, on the air, and I'm going to have to make sure that I sit back and give this brother a call this upcoming week. But,
I'll
man,
send you his
Shay,
number.
I got it. I got it.
Okay.
I got it. And I'm gonna hit him, man. But man, when we were at the inception of what we were trying to get accomplished, and we were finally just told that, hey, it's just not gonna happen until these numbers get better. Man, Shape was down like four flats, man. And I had asked my producer, hey man, have you been circling back around, whatever? And they say one thing, but either way, that's my responsibility. But again, what I would love to say with you, Fonz, if you're down for it, I would love to sit back, man, and pay for one of your raps for a charitable event hosted by Black City and Hustle Kings. And you guys give it out there to somebody that deserves it, man.
Yeah.
And hopefully they bring you a bike that ain't too effed up.
That's tight.
So
Now we'll make it happen no matter what. We'll make it happen.
wow.
Yeah.
So
Hey,
I think
now I'll bring you a bike from Copart.
so
With my
We gonna have
son's
to
title,
push that
homie.
bad boy.
Yeah.
so it's funny you mentioned that, Mike. So I reached Justice, he's from Black City. He actually organizes a lot of stuff. He reached out to me and he says, "Yo, brother, I want to do an event that's gonna be really like rock the city." And I'm like, "All right, what you got? What you got?" Because I'm like, sometimes I get overwhelmed with just everything else, and then,
Yeah.
I don't want to be the project manager because sometimes it's hard being the project manager.
Yeah,
But
it's a lot.
Justice said, I want to do something where all the clubs involved throughout the day. Let's pick a weekend or a Saturday, and we go to different areas for every club that's willing to participate and give away food. Like we have a place here in my neck of the woods where I donated my proceeds from the ESPN stuff. It's called City Harvest, and they feed the homeless, they clothe the homeless. We did a sleeping bag drive and all that, and then so what they want to do is like every club pick a location where they do all this charity work from, and we're gonna ride. If I'm not mistaken, we're gonna ride to every location and do what we do, and just
Yeah.
make like a World Day event, like Feed the World Day or whatever. There's a theme to go with it. So I know that's in the works, but again, because of COVID, a lot of things have been pulled back, a
Yeah.
lot of places. But I know for a fact, Black City and Shape and his guys continue to do Feeding the City.
Amazing group of cats, man. You've told me
Yeah.
some of the things, man, off camera that cat is involved in, and I'm truly impressed. And I'm just impressed, man, with your circle of folks over there. Just period, man. Everybody seems to always have their thumb on the pulse of something that's good, man, and that's so solid, man. Hey, you mentioned something early, Fonz, man, that caught my attention, and I tell this all the time, guys, man. You know, pre-COVID, I got a chance to come up there, man, and had a blast with you guys. But man, I'm gonna tell you, it was my first time ever riding in New York. And so when I'm running my mouth with people, man, about the 110 in Cali, 40 over here, man, in the Midwest, I be like, look at here, y'all. I'm gonna tell you something, cuz until you've ridden in that city over there, dude, it's nerve-wracking. It's a different kind of ride. Trust me, you might can ride. I know you can. But until you ride them boroughs, my brother. Hey,
So,
right
so
now,
the first level is riding in the summer through New York City.
bro.
Second level is spring. Third level fall, and the final level where you earn the special achievement in the winter. And believe me, the winter is not friendly here in the city of New York, especially when you gotta. Not only do you gotta deal with people like cages just going crazy in the winter, but you also gotta deal with like the salt trucks, the garbage trucks, the cabs running lights,
NYPD,
potholes,
waiting for you at the bridges,
and then
Potholes
on
will
top of
swallow up
that,
your
you
bike.
gotta deal with the harassment from the NYPD, like with
Bro.
these random checks.
Let me tell you something, man. Y'all, I take my hat off to y'all, bro. I swear to you. It got so bad that once I finally sit back and said, you know what? We was riding, and all the while we was riding, I was rapping with myself. And I was like, Mike, you going the fuck back home. So the next stop, you just sit back, man, and let cats know what it is, my brother. You peer pressure. And so we got to the next stop, and I was like, hey, man, just tell me where y'all going, and I promise you I'll get there. I'm trying to keep up with you cats, and then I'm not on no sucker shit. Y'all ain't gotta slow down for me. Do your thing. But man, like great hosts with a lot of hospitality, they slowed down for a cat, man. They knew that I was very novice in your city.
and you
And they
wasn't riding
said
a
that-
little bike. You wasn't riding a little
No,
bike.
I was on my man's Indian, brand new Indian. Yeah. So again, I take my hat off to you guys, man. Amazing folks, but you guys ride hard, bro.
Well,
Y'all
you know,
ride
we
hard.
also gotta, like everywhere else, you know, you got the older guys like Butter always constantly telling people ride your ride. You don't gotta care
Yeah.
what nobody think. You ride your ride, and as long as you on tools and safe, you good.
That's what it was. And
I
when I got to your city, my brother, after about 6 hours, I rode my goddamn ride because I couldn't keep up with you.
I'll be honest. Unless I'm going to a charity event, I'm not riding in the five boroughs. I refuse to find them. Let me tell you something. The best riders in New York City can ride that FDR really fast because that FDR is that's Suicide
Bruh.
Street.
Yeah,
That's
we gotta
Suicide
change a
Street.
couple things in the
Hey.
culture that I really do believe, and it's glorifying the riskiness that's unnecessary sometimes. You know what I mean? I'm all
agree
down
with
for
you.
fun, and believe me, I'm part of that 200-mile club too. But let's like, you know what I mean? Like I us and like, you know, it was at one point a certain summer where every week, you know, we were saying RIP to somebody, and it was
man.
insane. And I'm gonna be
Yeah.
honest, having a child made me soft.
I can dig it.
Having a child made me soft. And
Fonz, I'm a card carrying member right along with you, my brother. I can dig it, man. You know, there's no need to ride hard like that no more at this age, man. For me, anyway, personally, it's just not.
You gotta show young cat that you still got it. You know what I'm saying?
So
Well, I
just
mean,
think I'm
don't
too
get me
cool. I'm
wrong.
just too
Don't get it
cool. I don't
twisted.
wanna leave
Hold
y'all
on, let me
without me.
clarify this, Josh. I know how to make somebody respect these gray hairs, but what I'm saying is, I don't have to do that. We can get there real slow. You know what? the funnest time I had that day when me, Butter, and my brother Dave from FLNY was just cruising, digging in the scene, man. I mean, it was a cool time with
I can
no.
tell you
It was dope.
some of my most memorable experiences in my MC is when we're on the side of the highway waiting for our brother's bike to get towed. Real talk. And the majority of that time was my bike.
That's cool, man. That is cool.
I personally, so what I've learned is that, and this is from facts, I've seen, and this is from personal experience. I done hit the past the 190 and gone on the straightaway and all that, but the same cockiness I had in the street when I got to my first track day, I didn't go past 55 miles an hour.
Really?
And I see a lot of dudes that I see them, and girls, guys, people that I've known, and I'm like, and I know because for me, I was like, oh, this track stuff's gonna be, if I could ride in the street with all these cars and all that. Then I got on the track, and a 13-year-old girl blew right past me on a 300. I was like, yeah, I got a lot to learn on this motherfucker.
Yeah,
so
we can see that picture of you on the wall back there. If you do that in the street, I don't know how you be doing that in the street. You gotta do that at the track.
Yeah. But if anybody wants to challenge anybody, hey, listen, go to the track, man. They do time. It's all about track time. How fast can you do the same exact street without killing yourself? So if anybody want to ever challenge me, you know what? We'll go to the track. I'll take my 600. You go on whatever bike you feel, and we do this. You know what I mean?
You can meet me on the Jackie. I'm sorry I'm not a track, but you can meet me on the Jackie and we can do something.
So it's funny. It's funny you say the Jackie because there's a highway that I ride in the Poconos. It's 33, comes off of 78. It reminds me a lot of the Jackie. The only thing it's wider. Not that it's still 2 lanes, but out. You know how the Jackie? It's like if you run out of those 2 lanes, you hit in the guardrail or the wall. Well, this place is cut exactly like the Jackie, but it's just got wider grass on both sides. And I've been
what's the Jackie, y'all?
The Jackie Robinson Parkway in Brooklyn.
It's a small version of the Tail of the Dragon with a lot of bumps.
Really?
Yeah. I'm born Brooklyn, raised, so my first experience on a motorcycle, which was actually on a dirt bike on that highway, was a hell of an experience. And when I was trying to learn how to ride without asking nobody what counter steering was, a lot of nights I'll be 4 or 5 a.m. on that highway just practicing, figuring out how a motorcycle works. So that's why strip or highway is my little sweet spot.
Yeah. I can dig it, man. Indeed.
Well, I can't thank you enough, Mike, for guest hosting today. I got to give a shout out to everybody who checked in. Yo, a lot of love on you, Mike, man. Track Stars, Easy Powder Code, and Dave checked in on the FNOY. You already know. Black City Riders, my girl Kristen. She's been on number one. Kristen, I got to DM me your address. Kristen, I want to send you a hat because you've been a part of this since we first started. You supported us from the beginning. So I definitely would like to send you a hat, courtesy of the show. Hey, Mike, did Uncle Tom get his shirt and hat?
You know what? I haven't had a chance to rap with him. It's so funny, man. I'm gonna probably give Unc a call. I have to check in with Unc, man, like bi-weekly, because if I check in with him weekly, I'm be like, Unc, what's my bike doing? And I know.
Listen, I got a friend like that. His name is Easy. His name is Easy Powder Coated. Yo, Easy, run my bike. Yo, we're on day 35. Easy, where you at?
Damn.
We gotta mention, like, running a business and then having your friends as your customers is one of the toughest things you'll ever deal with. Only because I'll be honest, the standards are different. You're more accessible to them. And if the minute you start treating them like a customer is an issue.
Listen, I know what that means. I know Mike's timeline, so I tell my peoples an extra 4 week on top of that. I know, right? Mike's gonna take this long, but I'm gonna add an extra 4. But listen, I'm in the business too. I tell a customer 10 to 15 business days. This motherfucker counts 9 days, and he's like, "Yo, when my shirt gonna be ready?" I'm like, yo, I still got 7 business days to go.
Yes.
Like, you know,
Hey,
it's in an order.
hey, but with that being said, man, real quick, man, before we close it up, hey, man, congratulations to you, Fonz, man. I'm so excited for you, man. Excellent job, man. I really love your energy, man. You've got an amazing spirit, and I know the folks over there will be lucky to sit back and have you in their backyard and have access to getting them dope raps on them bikes going forward, man. So good stuff. If you ever need anything from me, man, I think you still got my number. I'd love to anytime, my brother. Again, real quick before we also finish, man, the guys that aren't on here, man, like the Daves, the Easies, man, all you guys out there, man, that tune in, man, thank you guys for allowing me to get on here and run my mouth with you guys, man. It's a pleasure. It's an honor. I'm humbled behind it, man, and it's awesome for me to sit back and be able to call you guys friends and some of you guys my brothers. So good stuff, man. Thank you for having me. I really mean it.
Always, Mike. I think it was a great show having you on. It's always a pleasure when a guy who's as busy as you, and you know, you're not just doing helmets, you're saving lives. You a firefighter as well. So, you know, we
Yeah.
Hey,
thank you
I
for
got more time behind me than in front of me, baby. I'm looking down the road. But I
Yo,
do.
shout out to the show. Thank you so much for having me. Yo, shout out to you, Mike. Yo, dude, like from the minute I met you, I sent you a message. I was like, yo, I dig what you're doing, man.
Thank
You know,
brother.
and
Much respect.
business owner to business owner, I know, and you know, as important as it is to have a good mantra on customer service, it is also important not to lose yourself in this,
That's true.
because it can be very easy for you to lose sight of why you even started this business to begin with, which was family.
and
So
for people who don't know, the same way, Fonz, when you first reached out to me and we spoke and I encouraged you, I was like, yo, fuck it, take a chance. You're the same advice I give to you. I get it from Mike. I call him. The same way you call me. And I know Mike is calling Uncle Tom or somebody, but
Yeah.
it passes down. It passes down. Like there's days, and I recently, and I'm gonna be a little bit more personal. I recently had a personal situation in my home, and I'm like, yo, fuck that. This is me. This is the way it fucking goes, and I'm the fucking boss. And Mike called me and put his foot so far down my
Man.
fucking ass. Listen, I'm still drinking the water from his fucking knee.
Come on, fam.
But that's how we do. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
That's how we do.
yeah,
Mike saw the opportunity to tell me where I fucked up, and he was like, "Yo, B man, this is the way it's gonna be." And I didn't see it his way. I totally didn't see it his way. I totally was so admire, like, nah, man, I'm fucking butter. I'm 44 years old. I done been through this shit. I done did this. I done did that. Ain't nobody gonna fucking tell me how I feel. And then when I finished rapping with Mike, I was like, damn, I fucked up.
yeah, you gotta have those relationships, man.
Sometimes we need
Gotta
those
have
sounding
them,
boards.
because-
And I have, and you know, it's so funny that you say that, brother. I look at what you do, man, and guys like yourself, Twin Coria, Ralphie, in
Shout
the
out to
bike
Twin.
community. Shout out to Twin, man. You know, you guys have been such an amazing blueprint. An amazing blueprint, man. And I know right now we're giving props, man. And sometimes us as men, we forget or we fail or we're too much on our ego shit to do it. But man, I appreciate you guys and what you do, man. It makes my heart smile, bro. For real.
Thank you.
Or
Indeed.
yo, shout out to my MC, Street Kings MC. You know, like I got when I got full patched, I was still working from my house, rapping parts, and it was pretty dope because you know I got bestowed the name Raps as my MC life, and yo, from like their encouragement always was like, you know, yo, bro, you like we see you do, like, yo, keep doing your thing, yo, you should get a spot, you know, and little comments like that led to the bigger snowball effect of just me just going for it, you know. So it's important that you know, I give that shout out because it was, and then, you know, of course my brother, oh my god, my brother Chino. Yo, if you ever deal with us, Rap Guys NYC, my brother Chino, he's, yo, dude, this guy has been the spine of this business. You know, like, as much as I want to say that, yo, the business, the dealing with the customers, all that is fun. But honestly, that's not me, man. My brother handles day-to-day operations. He's a, you know, owner, and he lets me do what I love, which is the art, the rapping.
Nice.
And you know, it was a big stress handling all that. That like at one point I walked away and I was ready to be like, all right, this this can't be life. And you know, my brother reeled me in and was like, "Nah, bro, I'm gonna take care of this. I just want you to focus on what you know, and is rapping." And I was like, "Yo, for real? Like, nah, bro, this is crazy. Nah, you can't do it. Like, I'm sorry. It's fucked up if I let you do this and like go down with me." And he was like, nah. We believe me. Let me take care of everything. And when I got a bike ready for you, you pull up, do your thing, and that's that. And then you go home to Bubba and be a dad. And I was like, oh,
Yo, remind the people
easy.
at home, how do they get in touch with you? Like, how do they like contact the shop or get something done?
Oh yeah, so the shop's Instagram is Rap Guys NYC, and from there you got all my links, email, all that, and you know, from there we take all business inquiries. If you know me on the, I will a lot of times answer you, but just to keep things formal and a work order that's official, I'll refer you to the IG so we can have a record of everything we spoke about. You know, so please don't take it sideways if I say, hey, can you just hit me up through the page?
Yeah.
It's only just to separate personal and business, you know?
Makes sense. Hey, Butterman, before we get out of here, what's going on? I know there's a lot of events coming up real soon. Real soon.
So there is a there. Oh, hold on one second.
Well, I'll go ahead and throw out first thing. In the next couple weeks, March 26th, 27th, 28th, I'm going to be down at Jennings GP with the certified knee draggers in Florida. I can't wait for that. Like, I just bought my tickets. I got to arrange to get my bike picked up by Carlos. It's getting transported down by, was it the M44 transportation? And damn, I can't wait to finally get back on the track again. This is going to be my first one of the year. I need to like dust off the cobwebs and whatnot. But what else coming up?
There's a big birthday party next weekend. Oh, March 27th. Sorry, at Square Biz for Shape himself. He just recently celebrated his birthday. But there's gonna be a big event on March 27th at the Square Biz. 24. I'm getting old. 21. 435 Jamaica Avenue in Queens. So if y'all want to come out, show Shape some love, his birthday party gonna be March 27th at Square Biz.
And I know pretty soon, actually, maybe next week or the week after, we're gonna have the ladies on from Ruts to Race Lines, Ruts to Race Lines, and also the Unicorn crew, right? Are we gonna have another ladies' night coming up?
Yes, sir. So July 22nd, it's gonna be Unicorn Gang and R2R. They're gonna be doing a all female track day, and then you got March 27th. That's sold out, so it ain't even worth talking about it. But May 7th and 8th, Certified Knee Draggers, Hustle King, Beyond the Apex. That's gonna be a movie. I mean, we already almost completely sold out on rookies and novice. So if you want to get in on an awesome track date with some really good teaching, we're gonna have the best coaches money could offer for free. So you're gonna have championship coaching for free with your track day. DJ is gonna be. There's actually gonna be something dope. So for all the new riders that are coming up, there's gonna be coaches that are gonna be riding alongside these new riders, and they're gonna be videotaping you as you ride, able to sell you and edit some of your own footage. So if you're going to be interested in that, that's going to be pretty dope. Make sure you contact me if I need draggers on how you can get a coach to like personally record you, and that's going to be sick.
Actually, I'll have a hand to play in that as far as the editing is concerned on the back end. I know I'm going to be involved in that a little bit.
Well, again, guys, thank you so very much, man. Unfortunately, I got to go ahead and exit, man. I got to go pick some kids up and rest them.
Yeah. Definitely.
It's great, man.
Take care. Good night, man.
Take care. Good night.
All right, so we're about to get out of here. This is the end of our show for this evening. Like I said in the beginning, folks at home, if you haven't subscribed to the channel, please look down below the video right now in the description box. There's a subscribe button. We'd greatly appreciate it if you do that. We do this every Tuesday, 8 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. It's called Beyond the Apex. We talk motorcycle everything. We have a new store we just opened up online. Anybody that wants t-shirts, hats, vinyl, and very soon certified knee draggers gear as well. There's a link as well in the description for our site to order your gear. We really appreciate everybody tuning in tonight. And as I always say, leave this world better than you found it. Peace.
Peace.
Peace.